to Mr. UFC Vegas Fight Club TV. I am Kyle, your host. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the bet review show for UFC Fight Night 139, the Korean Zombie versus Yair Rodriguez. We're going to be getting into our best bet play, our free play, and our overall feeling on this card. Wow, that main event was unbelievable. We got one fight that basically had knockout of the night, fight of the night, all in one, and probably fight of the year candidate and knockout of the year candidate as well. Unbelievable night of fights. A couple snoozers early in there, but some interesting fights and interesting things that we want to talk about here. So right away, we will get into the best bet. The best bet was on Yair Rodriguez to defeat the Korean Zombie. We were able to cash in on that. And, I want to talk about this fight. There's a lot to break down. I don't like to make these bet review shows too long, but such an amazing fight. Such an amazing fight. Basically having one fight, having it have the fight of the night, knockout of the night, candidate for fight of the year, and also candidate for knockout of the year. It was just unbelievable. And breaking down this fight, this is something that you take a look at. And, for me and you guys, I will post it in the description down below, so take a look. For those of you that did make the purchase at Wagertalk, I appreciate the support. We were able to cash in on the best bet play. And this is something that I had took a look at this. And prior to this fight, my big thing was the layoff part of this. And taking a look at, yes, Yair Rodriguez came in 2 weeks' notice, and it was short notice for him. But I really like the fact that, going on Yair's side was the fact that the Zombie had fought once in 5 years. He served military time. He's very flat-footed, kind of moving forward kind of fighter, a little bit slower, but he definitely has got technique, and he's a very good fighter, no doubt. But I didn't think that it was going to really dictate as much pressure, and I thought that some of the quickness from Yair would really help expose the slower side maybe of the Zombie compared to how the combinations come off from Yair, and that something spectacular could land. Did not think it was going to be something to this side of the things, the way things happen. But I thought early in that fight, he was going to land some big shots and really damage the Zombie and force him to not pressure as much. And I was impressed by the way that the Korean Zombie fought. I thought he fought really sensational for a guy, again, that last time he fought was he beat Dennis Bermudez, and that fight I downgraded a lot. When I took a look at that and rewatched that fight, you look at Dennis Bermudez. Dennis Bermudez, he is, he's a known name within the UFC. But since the Zombie beat him, after that, he lost 3 straight. So he was 0-4 on his last 4 fights. And he was 2-6 in his last 8. So definitely, Dennis Bermudez is not the guy that he used to be. He's definitely wear and tear. His chin definitely doesn't really stand much anymore. So I downgraded that victory. And then you take a look at when he fought Aldo. Aldo was beating everybody. So it's very hard to take a look at that fight where Aldo was just decimating the entire division. He was one of the top fighters in the world, still is obviously up there, but at that moment he was pound for pound one of the best ever. And you take a look at that fight, that was a one-sided fight. Aldo got the victory. He popped his Zombie popped his arm out. So there was a lot of things going on there. But taking time off, going into the military, are you honing your skills? Are you still really working hard and really putting yourself at the max that you can to continually elevate in mixed martial arts? And I thought that, the way he fights, maybe that just isn't going to withstand against someone like Yair. And early Yair had success. There was definitely, he was doing some great things early. I think it was round 1, round 2. He was fighting well, doing well, but that pressure and just the straightforward punching style of the Zombie just really spelled a lot of issues for Yair. And people saw a lot of that when Yair lost to Frankie Edgar. That was something that a lot of people took a look at and said, hey, you take him to the ground, he can't do anything. Yair has very good jiu-jitsu. Rodriguez is very good jiu-jitsu. But when you're just getting mauled like that, it's hard to really maneuver. He was trying to do a lot of flashy stuff, even trying to, he was trying to armbar Frankie Edgar, trying to grab his, there you got to just set position, and you got to find opportunities to get out of there and not take damage, and he just got mauled in that fight. But this fight here was very much the same. Zombie was able to push forward very hard on Rodriguez, and Rodriguez really couldn't find many answers, and as the fight went deeper, it was very obvious that the Zombie was starting to dictate the fight. There was opportunities that Rodriguez landed some nice kicks, landed some nice shots, put some pressure on the Zombie, but then he would just move forward again. And it was very, very impressive the way that the Zombie was able to put this whole fight together. And then you go into that 5th round, and I was with some friends watching this fight. All of us were betting on Yair Rodriguez. And this fight, at the end, you see these two guys hugging. You see these two, there was a little too much of that. It was a little, for me, I'm saying, you guys got to keep fighting here. Yeah, you're probably losing this fight. Why are you guys hugging it out? And then that split second where the Zombie, I guess, just was not focused, and that unbelievable elbow that landed is, I think, easily knockout of the year. There's been some great knockouts this year, no doubt, but a type of that, when it happened, how he was down on the scorecards, is all relevant to that knockout. And you saw in rounds 2 or 3, Yair did the exact same move. He did the exact same move and landed it flush right on his chin, and he didn't move. I mean, it was something there, he just didn't move. So this one, later in the fight, a little bit tired, and it just landed perfectly. It was a shot that I don't even know if I yelled. I think I was just more in pure shock and awe of what just took place than what happened. And then I wasn't even sure, did the bell ring? Was it enough? Where did they call it? Or was it over yet? Was it not over? Was the round over? It was just, there was a lot going on there. And then you took a look, and obviously they looked back. He was able to get the victory. So that was something that felt good. And again, you take a look at, last week's fight. Last week's fight where I had best bet play was Chris Weidman over Jacare. Same type of thing. It's very difficult where you take a look at a fight, you think you read it right, and in that fight with Weidman, I said, they're probably going to be standing, and I think Weidman wins the exchanges standing. I think he has better boxing, a little bit quicker hand speed than Jacare, and I think Jacare would tail off later in the fight. First 2 rounds, it's basically all Weidman. Maybe I wouldn't say all Weidman, but it was, Weidman was doing his job, and he won those first 2 rounds. 2 minutes left in the fight, he gets knocked out. That's just how it goes, and those are the type of things that happen. And again, we're trying to handicap the best that we can to, at the end of the year, make sure we have a substantial amount of money that we are up. So it was nice to hit this victory, be on this side of a late knockout, and Yair Rodriguez gets us the victory as our best bet play. And our best bet play right now for the year is 26 wins, 12 losses, plus 22.63 units for the year. Still right on that 70% range, 70 percentile of winning. All of our best bets are under minus 190. I got Yair Rodriguez middle of last week at plus 120. I thought it was great odds on him. I was really excited to get that. And then as I saw, literally it was a day and a half. It went from plus 120 to Yair was minus 130 come fight night. I thought there was a lot of action on him. I was very surprised that it moved that much. I thought I was hearing a lot more people liking the Zombie than liking Yair. And I thought that it was very interesting that for a small card, not a big card, that much action was pushed onto Rodriguez late last week, which changed the odds, and that's what ended up happening. So again, we able to get that victory on Yair Rodriguez at plus 120. And again, it is 70% winning percentage. We are plus 22.63 units. I would love, again, my 75% winning percentage. I would love to hit that by the end of this year. So it was nice to get another victory. The other play that we had was our free play. It was on Mike Perry against Donald Cerrone. And this, I don't know how to break this one down. It's Cerrone. I give this guy credit. I really was more, he is just on the decline. His chin isn't there. And I thought he fought smart in there, but it's just, I think that Perry is just sloppy. I think that's part of it, that he's just sloppy. He doesn't have a very good fight IQ, and he just didn't do the right things out there. I think he fell right into Cerrone's trap, and Cerrone wanted that exact exchange to happen where the way it happened at the end of that fight. He was looking for that to happen. Expose something, give me something to latch onto, and that's how I'm going to end this fight. He had no issues with him standing, and I still believe in Cerrone saying, listen, you want to stand and bang, we can do it. But he's also going to be smart too, a crafty veteran. He was able to go out there, get the victory. Donald Cerrone does win there, and it was just an interesting fight where these two guys coming from the same camp, and apparently even one of the coaches, I actually forget which one it was, and Jackson Wink, one of them, and they had come out and they were really, blasting Cerrone, calling him the cancer of the gym, and this is after the fight took place. So there was definitely a lot going on there, and that part, I think, really fueled Donald Cerrone. I think he was more focused than he had been, and then there was prior fights where you take a look where he fought Darren Till, and when he fought Darren Till, he sounded like he was very not interested. He said he didn't even know who Till was, and here I think he was definitely studying footage. I think he was definitely had the better game plan. I think he really, really applied himself, and I am a fan of Cerrone. I hope he continues to do that in his next fight. He already said that the UFC has offered him another fight, and it's apparently a well-named fighter within the UFC that he's excited to fight, so there'll be something great, and I hope he keeps pushing forward. His skill set's great, he's well-rounded. The big question mark for me was his chin. Can he withstand a big bomb from Perry, and would Perry just be able to land that one shot and end it? And Perry, I think that he overexposes himself, he leaves himself open, he doesn't let the fight come to him, and I think all the time that's going to be his thing. I think he gets in there, and I think he just is, he sees blood, he sees red, he just wants to go out there and he wants to just tear his opponent apart instead of relaxing, taking his time, working his ankles, letting his power and his strength being able to use that in the cage, being able to try to dictate some body movement, move around the cage a little bit, and I just don't see that from Perry. Really have to downgrade him on his next fight. Interesting to see who he fights, because they may really give him somebody that he can just tee off on and kind of keep him relevant within the UFC, because another loss, I think, really hurts Perry's brand, and he is a raw talent. I think he's just a little too raw still, and he's making the right moves where he went to Jackson Wink, and he's trying to get better and trying to be a little more well-rounded. So we'll see what happens there. So Donald Cerrone does get the victory. So we now will have our prediction show for the next event. We're looking to have that, today's Monday, so probably Wednesday I will have the prediction show out, and again we will have our best bet released that day as well for purchase, have my free play as well. So it was a good night. It would have been nice to have the Perry hit, but again, another big win on our best bet play for Yair Rodriguez. I don't know. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. It was an unbelievable fight. So that, again, gives us as our best bet for the year 26-12 plus 22.63 units. And we are 70% winning percentage with all best bets under minus 190 or plus, like this one was at plus 120. So do not forget to subscribe, head kick the bell icon, get involved with Fight Club TV. And this is Mr. UFC Vegas, Fight Club TV.